Indian River State College, How to Write a Thesis Statement, brought to you by the Tutoring Centers at IRSC. What is a thesis statement? A thesis statement helps unify a paper. In other words, the thesis statement is the roadmap of your paper. It should include your main point as well as the supporting evidence that you plan to talk about in your body paragraphs. 5 general rules for writing a thesis statement. A thesis statement makes an assertion. It's not a simple statement or observation. Your thesis statement is going to specifically show the reader what the paper is going to be about. It should be detailed, and it should include either a specific argument or point of view or specific information about a topic that you intend to research. Points to consider when writing a thesis statement. Do not telegraph your thesis. In other words, you don't have to state, this paper will show, or I intend to show, or the paper will state, things like that. Ideally, the thesis statement should be straight and to the point, and the evidence in your paper should be self-explanatory as to what the paper is showing. For example, instead of saying, I will show in this paper that red cars are better than blue cars, your thesis statement might be something like, red cars are better than blue cars because A, B, and C. This clearly and specifically shows that the paper is going to talk about the benefits of red cars versus blue cars, and that the paragraphs are going to cover points A, B, and C. You also want to consider, have you explained the how and the why in your thesis statement? If you're making an assertion, you want to make sure that your thesis statement includes some details about why you've come to that conclusion. For example, stating the lifestyle of a teenager in the 60s was different from the lifestyle of teenagers today should include some reasons on why. So a more detailed thesis statement might be, because of advances in technology, the lifestyle of modern American teenagers is very different from the lifestyle of teens in the 1960s. You should use the thesis while writing. Once again, your thesis is your roadmap to your paper. It should guide not only you, but your reader as to what direction your paper is going and how it's going to get there. You want to make sure that you're providing clear support and that you are being specific in the evidence that you're presenting in your paper. False assumptions concerning thesis statements. Here are some assumptions that, while generally true, are not always true, and so you shouldn't feel limited by these rules if they're preventing you from developing a good thesis statement. When expanding your thesis statement, you want to make sure that you include some evidence as to what you're going to be talking about to support your thesis statement in the paper. Notice in the examples that the simple thesis statements simply make a claim, whereas the detailed versions provide some supporting evidence as a preview of what the paper is going to discuss. To help you get started, try using a template sentence. The below template sentence will just have you fill in the blanks of what you're writing about and what you're going to argue, show, or prove. Now remember, we don't want to have your thesis statement that telegraphs your paper. You don't want to include I am writing about in your final thesis. So you're going to have to revise your template to take out that first person pronoun and expand by simply making your assertion. And then you also want to include some details that will indicate to the reader how that statement is true. Thank you so much for watching our video on how to write thesis statements. For more help with thesis statements, please visit the Writing Center in the Tutoring Centers at IRSC. You can also receive virtual help via the website.